Hello friend and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. We're playing the Stalingrad to Berlin campaign with your star of today, the German Army. Once again back, last time I did most of the reorganization in Army Group A. Not all of it. Of course, we had some trouble down here with a bunch of Romanian cavalry and mountain divisions pretty much being out on their own there in order to make sure that they don't get blatantly crushed. I needed to reinforce them with the 9th Infantry Division. I think what I'm gonna do is... I cannot break these guys off. The thing is that the 125th is also not doing amazingly well, and I feel that I might need to use some other units to prop them up. If I do this and this there. The edge here does not need to be so well protected. So what I can do is I can move both of these out in here and keep this as a 2. I think that's fine. This part of the Jaeger division, it cannot move in here, interestingly enough. That's super weird. Or is it a mountain? Yeah, it's a mountain. Let's pull the line. They might attack here. I can see that Jaeger division retreat. My immediate concern for the winter is to hold on to makeup. I would assume that its oil production is damaged. I would certainly still initiate priority repairs to that oil. That's mostly because of a historical reenactment, let's just call it like that, because we already learned from the previous game that the fuel stores problem does not have any real effect over to the game, which personally I find utterly ridiculous. But I guess that's the way it is for now, so we can't really do anything with it. Yeah, it just means that I will have to act as if I really want to have all that that oil. They're already at 9. I can pull the Slovakian mobile division. Yeah, that gets it to 2. I guess I have no other choice for the moment. The situation is far from ideal here, but I also want to get the Slovakian mobile division out of this area. Basically, I need to reorganize the 4th Panzer Army and make it into a reasonable fighting force that can hold Stalingrad. I did already talk. I don't even know whether I did already talk about my my strategy for Stalingrad, but I guess I can discuss it here at the very least. So, my strategy for Stalingrad, and look, I have no clue whether this is going to work, obviously, but I want to hold on the eastern side of the Don and basically prevent these forces from getting to this side of the Don, whereas I'm fighting off these forces with heavy attacks. So I want to make it easier for myself to defend against the Soviets on this side of the Don and hold on to Stalingrad. Now I know that sounds a little bit absurd, but that's basically the plan that I'm going to try and follow over the next few turns. And if it fails, it fails. One of the things that I found interesting, and look, I always, well, not always, but from time to time I do always skim other people's videos, other people who are playing this game, and I don't have the time to watch all of their videos or to watch all of the live streams, things like that, but sometimes I do drop by, see how other people are doing, how they're playing these games, and I noticed that for example, there's this impression maybe by other players that for example, I would reenact a turn before actually playing it out until I would get everything perfectly or something like that. Look, I don't have the time. I will say this for everybody. For people who are thinking that I do that kind of stuff, I don't have the time to go and spend hours of non-video time, or even like half an hour, whatever, any time, trying to reenact making a perfect turn. God forbid. I've had plenty of commentary saying how I needed to do things better and differently in my previous campaign. And look, if you are looking for the mistakes, they definitely are there. I mean, let's not forget that my entire first campaign had to be replayed because I did not get there. So for those people who are thinking that, you know, I'm trying to do everything perfectly, that is obviously not the case. Not only did I not win my very first campaign, because blatantly I would just not get there. I know some people would find it interesting to watch me slog it out for 3 more years after having absolutely 0% chance of winning. But I would like to keep it at least a bit interesting, and we're already going to, you know, probably retreat for quite a while during this campaign. So for those of you who wondered why I stopped my first campaign, this is it. Like, I already knew back then, maybe of course I didn't say it back then, but I already knew that I was going to play multiple campaigns, one of which would be most likely going to be a campaign of retreating. And I don't want to show off multiple campaigns retreating because it's just more of the same, so that's not very interesting. Whereas here I'm going to have a campaign where I'm most likely going to be retreating, but we'll see how that goes. So I did not want to do that, which is why I quit my first campaign, just getting a feel for the game, but obviously making, you know, a lot of mistakes, and ultimately not getting there. First time around, I did not even reach Orel and Kursk, for example, during my first year. I don't even know whether I got to Kharkov. I think barely. Didn't get close to Rostov, Sevastopol, or Moscow. Yeah, it was just not going very well. So then, of course, during my second playthrough, there were still quite a bit of mistakes that I made. If we look even at the end of the campaign there, as for my strategy, I expected the 17th Army and 11th Army to make a lot more progress than they ultimately did. I expected them to fairly quickly move upon Krasnodar and Maykop, but then that campaign took the entire campaigning season, summer, autumn of 1942, and then they just barely made it to Krasnodar and Maykop as it is. Had the Russians put a few more troops there, they would not have made it. Like, looking back on that campaign, that was a strategical mistake. Thinking that those armies were powerful enough to get there, and they actually just kind of didn't. My first attack on Stalingrad failed pretty badly. I had some troops that almost got cut off and encircled, and I had to fight my way out, you know, retreating first, and only when I threatened Moscow was I able to go for a second attack on Stalingrad. Like, that did not go well. Moreover, my first push on Voronezh didn't go the whole way. I needed a second offensive that I did not actually plan for to finish the deal. I'd actually hoped to take Voronezh and then move on, but that didn't happen. I could not get it. And the same applies to the 3rd Panzer Army. I got the 3rd Panzer Army into a position where they were just constantly fighting a battle of attrition against a lot of forces at Moscow, and it just tied up the entire army, and it basically became, you know, a battle of attrition instead of me being able to move units. I think that could have been handled better. Same for the 9th Army, that was just in terrible shape all the time. Look, I won, but there were a lot of mistakes that I could have made there, or that I did make there, that definitely could have gone better. Time and time again, I've had people telling me, like, look, your campaign in the north, you know, that's really useless, and I agree. Probably I could have pulled quite a few more forces out there. So that campaign certainly did not go as well as you know, one might expect. It was far and far from perfect. But I managed to take out a victory in the end. I have to say that for a while, when I saw that mass at Stalingrad, I did not 100% for sure knew that it was going to be like that. I was stalled in front of Krasnodar and Makeup, not getting those points. And then, you know, being stalled in front of Stalingrad, not having taken Ryazan and Tambov yet, which would have meant that I would not have been able to secure a victory, was well, it was a bit stressful at times. But at any rate, like, I don't replay turns. I don't have time for this. And yeah, that's just basically it. I basically have a strategy that I try to invoke, and sometimes I think about it and I think I should do things differently. And I do that instead of my plan. Not everything always goes as well as I might hope. But usually it does in the grand scheme of things, which is nice. At any rate, maybe I'm just not talking enough about my contemplations that people get this feeling. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. And that they cannot match together, which sucks because these guys will probably rout. But I need to get to the eastern side of the Don, which is exactly what I've just been talking about. I'll probably have to get these guys in single line here, because I'm not even too sure why I'm already doing that, but well, I guess this should be fine. One thing that's interesting here too is that I can already see that I can just walk out of this. One of the things that we need to contemplate as well is that units like these motorized brigades or mechanized, like this is a part of a mechanized corps, it's not an entire mechanized corps. These guys will be weak and they can be beaten. These stacks are powerful, and they probably cannot be beaten. We can use this to our advantage to eke out at least some defenses. I also definitely do not want them to take the supplies at Kalach. However, first of all, I need all these Romanian corps to be part of the Romanian army. Because it's pretty ludicrous to have it like that. And then basically the Romanian army also cannot be at Kotelnikovo, I think. currently have a depot there. It's my closest depot. Where's the third part of that cavalry? That's 1,300 men. Part of that division, the 4th, 3rd out of 4th, 1 out of 4. It's, I believe it got shattered, so I really also do wonder whether it will be reconstituted. I don't know if we can see that even. Doesn't look like it. One thing that I also want to take a look out for, say that I want to move these guys up, they're pretty much always sticking the route, at least up till here. And then here. So if I decide that I want to put it together, they will go to 24, and that's the tricky part there. One thing that I am inclined to do is get the Romanians either completely out to have them reorganized, or to put them along the river to try and hold that and hopefully get the AI not to attack. These are 5, so they can still be put under 4th Romanian as well. There we go. This is part of the 18th. Depleted and unready. Ideally, I will not use rail transport for these guys, but let's see. 4, 3. It's tricky because here too, ideally I would actually put them on this hex, this here. It's because the rivers aren't frozen yet, it's probably a pretty reasonably defended area. Fourth Panzer Army is only 12 at the moment. And I need to pull these Romanians, at least some of them, off of the line. The 4th Romanian Corps has some units here. They are unready. But I also cannot allow the Russians to get across the Chir River that easily. This is the only unit that can get in here. Where is 3rd Romanian Army? Over here, they have 20 out of 27. Of course, this is way too far. If I... Well, I can't even pull them out, technically. How to shift them, If I get the 1st Slovakian Mobile Division, I still most likely want them to... Oh, they're at 95% TOE. Given the current situation, '40th Panzer Corps, huh? At least they'd still be under a corps. If I run them all the way up to Rostov, they would be exceptionally exhausted. 73. Let's see if I can put them under the 40th already. It's very unlikely. No. What I'm surprised about is that I don't also have a depot there, but I'll sort out the depot soon enough. So they're in here now. That immediately gets them to 37. They can move by rail. Interesting. I cannot move that many other units out by rail as it is. Yeah, let's move them here and put them under the 40th Corps, or 40th Panzer Corps, that is. And the 40th Panzer Corps is currently under Army Group Don, but we'll take care of those things as we go along as well. So those are out. That means 17th Army is strangely still overburdened even after that. That's weird. I thought it would be slightly less. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're at 8 out of 9, and now I can put these guys under the 49th Corps here. They again are slightly overburdened, but there is nothing I can do. At least we have fortifications in these hexes. I'll keep it like that, just like I'll keep these here. It's funny that there does not even seem to be anything else in this area. But in order to keep a pretty reasonable, coherent line, I'm looking to get these guys on the edge of the mountains. So in the mountains themselves, they're still quite powerful. I prefer to keep them there for the moment. I have no clue how far I will have to retreat ultimately. But I do think it will be worth taking a look at it. I mean, if my course yeah, I can keep it like this for now. I think that should be okay. All right. Kind of like that as a super depot, but currently I would think it's quite dangerous. There's a lot of core here, and I actually don't need all of them, so I need to reorganize that into something proper. This guy has a 2 and 4. This guy has a 2 and 4 as well. And then the 5th Romanian Corps has a 3 and 5. So I want to put as many units as possible into the 5th Romanian Corps here. to have the best chance. And you then. I can probably take out an entire corps, which means that I don't need to spread the support units around that much. That will be a lot better than what it is currently. 8 out of 9, so these guys are full. I want all this stuff. They don't even have that much. From second corps out. First Romanian corps also has a lot more staff than the second Romanian corps. Let's take a look at the... I have 3 artillery, whereas the 5th has also 3, but they have no other support units, where these guys have more AA, more everything. So let's send all of the support units from 2nd to 5th. Got that locked because I don't actually want anything there. And I will use them to raise the abilities of a depot. I guess at Stalino would do for the moment. Right. There we are. I'm not gonna switch any generals for the moment, but how are you doing? 76. It should be good enough, but they're still very weak. These are under the 5th Romanian Corps, which has some stuff. I guess it cannot be helped. 4th. So there are currently 3, and then these guys, but that will just be dislodged there. They're frozen for 1 turn, so they're not gonna take Morozovskaya. Got a depot there. The thing that I would find most interesting, okay, apparently none of those guys can move in there. I would have the 1st Romanian Armored Division support the Cherniskov. And hold there. Because I need to shift the Romanians. These guys are unready, so they need to refit. I'll just leave them there for the moment. No need to get them all riled up. They're better off staying there for a while at this point anyway. Let's see, because crossing the river probably does me no good. And if I'm honest, okay, so I would need to move here. Rather the 6th is so weak, I'd actually rather pull them out. What I'll do here... How powerful are you? You're at 2 now. Hold these up in here. And get I will get this Panzer Division out anyway. They have only 2 units, which is General Ferdinand Heim. He's terrible. Instead, I'll have these guys probably taking the hit, and I'll try to stay in the cities as well. As a German division, they are most likely a lot more powerful. Alright, let's do a slow retreat here. See if we can hold this for a turn. Just like that. Try to keep an effective Romanian command here. They're all at 4 or 3, which by no means is the best, but 6, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's they're fine at Milarovo for the moment. What happens to Army Group B? Will they will withdraw. Turn 39 to Italy. So that will take a while still. How about Army Group A? They will stay. They will not leave. Okay. One thing that I want to take a look at as well. Construction value 9, which is way too low. How's it for these other guys? 8. How many construction battalions do I have in the Corps? Not a lot. I have a lot of construction units in Army Group A currently, but I will need to divide them. How many does 5th Corps have? 1. Since the 17th Army is going to dig in, I want to send those construction battalions. Let's just see if I can send them to Corps level. Not quite sure. So like 5th? No. I would have to send them to 17th, and then after that I can get them to Corps level. But I will get them there. 1st Panzer does not need them because they are just going to retreat. So I will send most of these construction units over to the 17th Army, so they can help out there. Except for those which are already placed here. So this construction unit is already stationed somewhere. I am not quite sure though where. Well, it's at C, or attached to Temryuk. My problem though, like with things like the air bases and stuff here, the problem is that I cannot get these guys out by themselves, but it's being done through some other stuff. Or maybe they'll just leave by themselves. If there are no planes, I really do wonder. They're like ready 23, but that's this 10, no? There are no planes there, so that is rather weird. that they would do things like that. At any rate, that leaves these Romanians. I know things are going super slow, but I really have no choice here, I feel. Let's pull you to this side of the chair. I might be able to hold this for a week, but not that much longer, if I can even hold it for a week, that is. But they might find it hard to move here and then launch a heavy attack. Now there's one part of that unit. The question is, do I already want to move those parts? Frozen for 3 turns. Wow. 3 turns is pretty rough. Let's see though, how is 6th Army doing? Severely overburdened at the moment. We have 1 corps which is cut off from the 4th Panzer Army. That can be dealt with. Can all of them move into this hex? Okay, I guess I will do that then. And they're just gonna stay there. Like, they can go here. And these guys over here. Once again, there are multiple corps here. Oh, there are only 2. Okay, so that's not too bad then. Well, there are no corps up there. There's just this, and this. Okay. They can stay under 4th Panzer command. As it is. Refit. The other 2 parts are up there. So I might just as well have all of them refit in here. Nothing else to be done. Unless I want to send that part of the 18th further back. That might actually... how are they? They're unready too. Unready, and these were depleted. Yeah. There's nothing to be done with them. These guys cannot take up that command. They'll never take this. They don't exert a zone of command. So getting them into such a position also would be fairly useless, or trying to get them into that would be fairly useless as it is. That it would be tricky. So Certainly I will give up this position, but if I at the very least beat down this unit here, it would not be so disastrous. These guys actually have an ability. No, they don't have the ability to attack, whereas a unit like this, neither. One thing yeah, I would consider that to be pretty interesting, but that cannot be the way out. How many core do I have in here? 15th. No, it's the 11th. I need to... One thing that I could do is to have the 40th Corps. Move up under the 4th Panzer Army, and I mean I cannot put it under the 4th Panzer Army currently. Corps HQ is the 4th. If I can alleviate that. Four and 3. The thing is, I can take the 79th out of it. This even keeps it at 10, so I can technically make another attack. At the very least, they should be able to move in there. We don't know what that is. But these guys' only hope, at the very least, would come from moving in here. And I guess attacking this. What can I actually add to them? Because I do want to give them this Stück. Can I actually add support units for you? They can. Then I'll also give these the pioneers. It means I need to get the 4th Panzer Army HQ close at least, and the 6th Romanian Corps further away. Which leads me to move the 18th Army out. Or at least this part. They're unready, so they can't really do anything anyway. I'll go here for the moment. They retreated, which allows the 16th Motorized to take this spot. In the city. Yeah, I feel that trying to get every single part of these across the river is probably the best idea I can try to hope for. The 8th Corps, let's see how powerful they are. They have infantry 6, because I also need to do reorganize here. These guys have Karl Strecker, which has a 7. It currently has these, so let's put these under the 11th. Okay, which makes it's the 8th. The Panzer divisions are under this corps, which is very weird. There's also the 4th Corps, which has Jenneke, which does not have very good mech either. I do have this Panzer Corps, but then it has 2 infantry under Hube. Okay, so I do need to reorganize that too. The 14th. So they have 2 infantry divisions, 94th, 305th, that then need to be done away with. Any other... this corps is very... yes, Seitlitz Gutzbach. He's very good, but then now he has 15, which is way too much. I want to actually put the worst units under Walter Heights in Stalingrad, ideally. Because they'll have the best defense of it anyway. And then more powerful units up north. I want to put you under the... oh, they already are. 14th Panzer. Corps. All right. if I can beat them, I can secure a much better position around this area. Okay. And they can still move. Although they're pretty much exhausted here. But I should move them in order to link up, which will make all of the units in here a bit better. And these guys can no longer fight anyway. It's kind of weird because the game kind of claims they're still encircled. Which, you know, I guess they are not. Technically this core can get out. Question is, from where do I think I want the core to operate? It will probably not be that easy for them to beat these. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these guys on the rail line over here, which is there's still a 2. So we'll just see how that holds. I need to keep this open for at least a turn as well. There we go. Sometimes this game is just weird. Like I moved these guys and now the game is acting as if they're doing a bit better. Let's take a look at their defense. The Stalingrad thing is in the way. This is 14, so not good. Alright, well, look, I see my time is up. I've broken at least through to Stalingrad for this turn. Like I said, I'll be looking to hold this part of the Don and then fight the Soviet Sav on this side. For now, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And I will see you all next time. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.